In this lesson, we're going to cover the PowerShell Integrated Scripting Environment. This will be available on your start screen. Again, if you just start typing PowerShell, you don't need to type search or anything else, just start typing. You'll see we have this Windows PowerShell ISE or Integrated Scripting Environment. I actually recommend that you launch this once and then pin it to your taskbar. So you launch the program, for example, launching Explorer. I then just right click and say pin. Now this is already pinned because that's where I launched it from. But for anything else, I can say pin this program to the taskbar. The integrated scripting environment is a much richer environment to create scripts for PowerShell. Now I still have this interactive window, so I can just type commands. I can still, for example, do my get process, but notice what's happening here. It has IntelliSense. As I type, it's actually showing me the possible commands I may want, making it even easier than a tab completion. As I type a command, I can then also do dash, and it will show me the parameters I could pass to this. So it makes it much easier to start using PowerShell. So although I showed you the regular shell initially, I would actually recommend you use the PowerShell ISE for all of your PowerShell. Now I do have this scripting window, but I don't have to see this. I can just click the up arrow and it disappears. So I can just use this as an integrated environment where I want to type my commands. Now if we're going to start talking about scripts, the first thing you may need to check is, can I even run scripts? So by default there is an execution policy. So if I say get my execution policy, notice mine is set to unrestricted. This means I can run anything. By default, yours will not be configured this way. So if you want to be able to run your own scripts that aren't signed, you actually need to run the set execution policy, and you're going to want to set that to unrestricted. Now there are some potential caveats with this, because obviously now I'm saying I can run anything. So for example, if I had some untrusted script that I now just ran in my environment, it could potentially cause me damage. So you have other options such as all signed, which is a trusted publisher for any script, including my own. Remote signed, for example, a trusted publisher for external scripts. But in your environment, as you're creating your scripts, and if you're confident no one else is going to log on to this box or try and run scripts, this is generally okay. So I've set mine to unrestricted. So now I can run my PowerShell scripts, which are files that end in a PS1 extension. So if I now look, this isn't actually a script. I just have a number of random commands in my window. And you can see some of these will look very familiar, as I was showing you in the command area. I can select an individual line, and if I click this Run Selection or F8, it just runs that one command. So it doesn't run everything in the window, it's just running the currently selected command. Now, let me actually open a proper script. So this is a script I actually wrote a while ago, and you can see it really consists of a number of parameters. So I actually can pass parameters to my script that I want to be used, and then I just run commands. And if you've ever developed a program in C language or C# or Java, these constructs will look very familiar. I have if, else. I'm using the squiggly bracket to group certain functions of code together. Notice my for each. So this is very similar to what I was using before for each of my various objects. So I can actually craft a whole series of commands with logic flows and conditions, and then save it as a PS1 file. I can then execute this PS1 file using the / and then the name of the PS1. So let's just say new. And in our example, we maybe just want to say hello world. So I might say write output, hello world. So pretty much the simplest script we'll ever use. I'll then save this in my home documents. I'll just call it hello world.ps1. I can now run this script with the / actually I have to move to the documents folder first. Now I can run / Notice it's doing that IntelliSense even for file names. Tab, hello world. So that's our first script. Obviously we build on this, we add key functionality to it. Another key element of the integrated scripting environment is the ability to actually see the command add-ons. Yes, it features IntelliSense. I can do a git command -now to find particular commands related to a type of object. But what this allows me to do is just start typing VHD, and it will show me all the commands related to a VHD. I can select one of them, and it now shows me a forms-based dialog for the parameters I need to type in, so a path I may need to use. The size. Do I want it confirmed? Is it a differencing disk? Actually, I don't want to create a differencing disk. Maybe I'll say a dynamic without a source. So I just say the path of where I want to create this. So maybe it's dtemp new.vhdx. I give it a size. Do I want to confirm, is it dynamic? I can say insert. So that is now the command to create a new VHD of this size, and it's a dynamic disk. I also have detailed help in this environment. I can click the question mark, and it actually shows me all the help I would get if I did the get-help commandlet. So it shows me details on the parameters, gives me my examples, so all the information I need to actually use these commands. This is also a great environment for debugging. So if I do have, for example, a more complicated script, if I'm testing and I'm experiencing a problem, I can, for example, insert a breakpoint. So I can actually say debug, toggle breakpoint. So now when it hits this line, if I was executing, it would stop the script. I could then inspect the stack, see what code is going on, what the values of various variables might be, and help me troubleshoot the environment. So again, I would recommend you do use this initially, certainly, as you're learning PowerShell as a richer environment to learn the command, to learn their capabilities. And it's very, very good for creating actual scripts that you're going to use.